Hey y'all, so for today's unscripted video, I want to share with you how I found my voice on YouTube and why I decided to really start making content. So as you all know, I've been in eating disorder recovery for 14 years and I've done a lot of advocacy work around that. And I was asked to do an interview on BuzzFeed. And I was super excited because it was going to be this awesome exposure. And I went in there to have an interview where I talked about my eating disorder and being a man with an eating disorder. I did the interview. I got really vulnerable. I think I even cried in the interview. I shared my story. And then I found out later on that the audio had messed up on the video and that they were going to have to call me back in to redo it. And I was like, okay, I was disappointed. And they never called me back. And I even remember reaching out to them and the video never happened. So I felt pretty discouraged with that. And so I had made one video where I shared my story and put it up on my YouTube channel, and I wrote an article for a website called The Good Men Project, and it got some attention. And the video was called I lost 160 pounds too. I lost 160 pounds. You would take selfies too. That's what the that's what the video was called. And so I found myself slowly starting to make some videos, and I started to make more videos, and I had reached out to the National Eating Disorder Association because I said, hey, I'm a man in eating disorder recovery and I would love to be a part of whatever you guys are doing, and how can I get involved? And I said, I make online content, if there's anything I can do for you. And so I started to make videos that were in support of NEDA, the National Eating Disorder Association. And as I was doing the work with them, they started to tell me that there are certain things that I could and couldn't say around my eating disorder. I couldn't say how much weight I had lost. I couldn't be as specific about some of those things that I felt were really important to my recovery and my journey and my story. Because when I was morbidly obese, I knew it was important for me to know that it was possible for me to lose the weight, and that, my binge eating disorder was a huge contributing factor to my obesity. And I just found myself being very frustrated, feeling like I couldn't share my story the way I wanted to share my story. And I remember I spoke at one of the fundraiser walks they had, and I was a little rude in my speech. I was, because I was frustrated with feeling like I was being censored, and the truth is, they're an organization. They're allowed to run their organization however they need to carry the message that they're carrying. And I just really spoke my mind about a lot of things, and it wasn't really as supportive towards the organization as it should have been. And I think what I learned through that is I can't ask other people to give me my voice. I have to give myself that voice, and I can't get mad at anyone else for giving me that space or not. And it was around this time that my younger brother had passed away, and I was scheduled to go to VidCon, which is like a conference for video creators. And it was a week after my brother's funeral. And I was like, God, how am I going to go to this thing? I almost wasn't going to go, but I decided to go anyways. And I had already recorded a bunch of footage from when I went home from my brother's funeral. I didn't know why I did that. I just knew that I had to do it. And then when I went to VidCon, I met some really awesome creators. I was part of a Facebook group for online creators. And so I met that Facebook group there at VidCon, and they were just, I met Jessica Hatch from Snow Dog Vlogs. She's now like a mentor of mine in the space of me making my videos and in the YouTube space. And I just started to make the content that I wanted to make. And I didn't really know what my voice was. And I was like, oh, I have to have a tagline. They say you have to have a tagline. And I wanted to talk about shit that men don't want to talk about. So my tagline was, what up, bro? So I'm always saying like, what up, bro? And it was cute, but it wasn't fully me. It was me trying to be something that I wasn't. And I had tons of videos where I said, what up, bro? And eventually I I let go of that. And for a while, I really stopped making content. I made a bunch of videos about my brother and losing my brother. And I'd gotten discouraged with Nita, and I sort of just stopped making content altogether. And it was like that for quite some time. And, here I was, I'm pursuing acting. I want to be an actor, and those were all the things that I wanted to do. And I always felt this desire to make my own work because I had gone to film school. And I also knew I was really passionate about mental health, and I was passionate about acting, and I loved being in front of the camera. And growing up, my dad was a minister, and people always told me, they're like, you're going to be a minister just like your dad. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to be a minister just like my dad. That is not what I'm going to be. But I started to realize that I had experiences to share, and that I could find my ministry in the way I wanted to share it, and realized I could really start using YouTube. So I was still in my last relationship when I started to write some videos down that I really wanted to make. And I knew that there were some creators that I really looked up to, and I really liked their content. I loved Matt Diavila. I loved Anna Akana. There are just a lot of content creators that I loved their work, and I felt like they were really helping people. And I think part of finding your voice is finding what you like and really listening to what other people are doing. And, there's a saying where they say, take what you like and leave the rest. And what I love about that is, we're allowed to borrow different inspirations from different people, and no one is you. And that's the one thing that I had to realize was, like, maybe other people are saying some of the same things that I'm saying, but no one has my specific experience, no one has my voice, and no one looks like I do. And realizing it had to be me putting content out to practice believing that I have something to say. And so I put some videos out over the course of a couple months. And then after my relationship ended, I knew that I had to refocus on what my purpose was. And my best friend from college, Dan, I reached out to him and said, Dan, I really need someone to help me with this, And we sat down and talked about it. And I said, I just want to make one video a week. And so we started to talk about it and plan it. And I would write each video last minute. I would film each video last minute, all to be released on Wednesday. But that was the start of me finding my voice. It was just putting content out and finding what works and finding what doesn't. And the reason why I want to share this about finding your voice is because it doesn't have to just be with your professional life or your creative work. But I'm learning how to find my voice in every area of my life. I'm learning how to find my voice with people I love, with friends and family and romantic relationships. Even how to find my voice, when I'm on a date, and how do I be honest about who I am, and how do I articulate myself. I believe that our voice is a muscle, and it's something that we have to be willing to work out every day with situations that come up and with people in our lives where we get to practice using our voice. I'm really grateful for my content, and that I have learned, and I'm still learning, that I get to create the platform where my voice is heard, and that I don't have to ask permission for anyone else to have a place for my voice to be heard. Because at the end of the day, the people who want to hear it will stay, and those who don't will go. And it's been really powerful realizing that I create that space. And I would just encourage you to create that space for yourself, however that might look. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And in the description box below, tell me, how did you find your voice? Or what is an area of your life where you're struggling to find your voice, and what does that look like for you? Again, thank you for watching this video and helping be a part of my platform.